Hi, thinking about moving to Long Island? Well, today we're going to be talking about the 5 things that you need to know before moving to Long Island. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you could get more videos just like this one. So the first thing I want to talk about today is neighborhood diversity. Long Island has something for everyone. If you want to feel like you're living in a suburban area, there's a neighborhood for that. If you want to feel a little bit more urban-like area, more rural, Long Island has something for everyone. You want to feel like you're living in the mountains? There's definitely a neighborhood for that. You want to have a beachfront property where you can dock your boat? There's a neighborhood for that. That's one of the fantastic things about Long Island is that there are so many different areas in this island that you can enjoy and that you can experience a different type of environment. So it's up to you where you want to live and what you want to be in your surroundings. There are even neighborhoods that will remind you of living in the city with wonderful urban nightlife, a lot of restaurants and food and all the things you can think of. So if you want to move to an area where you will get a little bit of everything, Long Island might be the spot for you. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is commuting. So Long Island is called Long Island for a reason. It is really long. So you need to keep that in mind when you are deciding where in Long Island you want to move, especially if you work in the city. Because Long Island has areas that could be as close as a 5-minute walk to the city if you live right in the border of Queens and Long Island neighborhoods. But there are areas in Long Island that actually can take up 2 hours, maybe more from the city. So that is something very important to keep in mind because it can get kind of hectic, especially during rush hours in the mornings and in the later evenings when people are going and coming back from work. Traffic could get really heavy. And those 45 minutes can easily turn to 2 hours, and those 2 hours can easily turn to 3 hours. So it's very important that you keep in mind where in Long Island you want to live, because there are many, many, many places, some that are very close to the city, others that are a distance away. So commuting takes me to the next topic that I want to talk about, which is transportation. If you're from the city, you might be wondering, can I get around as easy as I do in the city in Long Island? Well, the short answer is probably not. Because Long Island, even though we do have our fair share of transportation methods, it's not as robust as it is in the city, where you have a whole bunch of different subway routes and bus routes that you don't even need a car. In Long Island, there is transportation, but it's not as extensive. So for example, we have the Long Island Railroad, which you can actually catch in Penn Station, and it takes you to about 124 different stops throughout Long Island. There's also some buses that can take you from a neighborhood to the mall and so forth. Not as extensive as the buses that you see in the MTA in New York City. There's also the highways, the Southern State, the 495, Sunrise Highway. There's also even an airport and 2 ferries. So there are transportation methods here. They're just not as extensive as you would see something, for example, in a city like New York. Next on our list is taxes. Yes, taxes is something that we definitely have to talk about because Long Island is known for its high property taxes. Now, this may be scary to some or even a turnoff when you see those numbers, but you have to consider, what are you getting? What is being provided to you in Long Island that the taxes are so high? So when you're considering buying a property, look at the amenities that are provided to you, look at the neighborhood, look at the amount of property that you're getting, and you'll notice that it may be worth it, especially when you consider the properties in New York City, for example, where the tax rate is much lower, but you perhaps may get less land, a smaller house. Because yes, even though the taxes are higher, you get more property for your money in comparison to, let's say, what you might see in New York City. So you have to look at the big picture and not just the individual numbers. Last on my list is amenities. Long Island has so much to offer. And one of my favorite things about Long Island is its access to beaches. Practically every neighborhood in Long Island has access to a beach less than 10 minutes away. Long Island is surrounded by water, so that's one of the great things about Long Island. You could dock your boat, you can go to a restaurant with a sea view. It's a wonderful experience. That's not the only thing Long Island has to offer. Many people think that Long Island is boring or there's not much to do, but in fact, many neighborhoods have a bustling nightlife with so many things to do, nightclubs, restaurants, lounges, all kinds of things that you can enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this video about the 5 things that you need to know before moving to Long Island. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you can keep getting more videos just like this one about Long Island, the real estate market, and anything you need to know about buying or selling a home here in New York.